Hi there, I'm Matt Schlick, CEO of Octane AI, and welcome to the e-commerce messenger masterclass. And we have another AMA today where we're going to talk with one of the smartest minds in the world of e-commerce. And we're going to get their thoughts and their experience and their vision on what real-time messaging for e-commerce looks like. And today we're specifically going to be talking about how it relates to Facebook Messenger. With email engagement going down and messaging engagement going up, real-time messaging is one of the fastest growing channels in e-commerce today. So today, I'm excited to have Travis Logan, co-founder and CTO of JustUno, as our guest. JustUno is also one of our integration partners at Octane AI, and so we definitely love them. And today, Travis is going to talk about how JustUno was started, his journey getting here, how e-commerce store owners can grow their Facebook Messenger list via JustUno, and where does Travis think real-time messaging with Facebook Messenger is going in the future. So hi, Travis. Welcome to the e-commerce messenger masterclass. Thank you for being with us here today.
Hi, Matt. How's it going? I'm happy to be here as well. This is exciting for Octane. It's exciting for JustUno, and always happy to give back to the community in any way possible as well. So cool. I'm ready to answer away any questions you got, and hopefully we can establish this great opportunity here.
Cool, awesome. So to start out, I think on a high level, it would just be awesome if you could go over what does JustUno do? What problem does it solve for store owners? Like if someone is running an e-commerce business and they're watching this right now and they haven't heard of JustUno, which I don't know how that would be possible, but if that was the case, how would you explain it to them at a high level?
Sure. Well, first of all, JustUno is a SaaS visitor conversion suite. We have tools that enable you to create on-site promotions and messaging through pop-ups, message bars, in-page messages, and other means. Our tools help you capture leads far quicker than ever before, whether those leads are emails or they are Facebook Messenger subscriptions, push notification subscriptions, and other types of leads as well. Our tools utilize a proprietary customer data platform that we created that it essentially profiles every website visitor that you have that allows you to create advanced visitor audience groups so you can show consistent personalized experiences across your marketing channels. A great example is you have your paid marketing channel. They come in through Google or another paid marketing channel, and you can show them a personalized promo based on that channel they came in through. So it keeps a consistent experience throughout it.
Wow, that's awesome. So I guess if somebody right now is looking to capture email or Facebook Messenger opt-ins, and they're just showing everybody the exact same messaging every single time, no matter where they come from, that seems like a huge missed opportunity where they could be using JustUno to personalize everything.
Exactly, yeah. And there's certainly some competition in the space, and generally speaking, that's what you just described is what they do. It's kind of a dumb pop-up that it presents itself to to everybody in the same manner, the same time, whether it's on the first page load or whatever. And it's a lot of times for many of those different profiles, it ends up being the wrong time. Ours, you can create as many different campaigns as you like and personalize them according to the different channels and different audience segments and so forth.
What do you, just a quick wrap up question about that. If for someone who's watching right now, do you think there's some two or three super basic kind of personalizations that everybody should be doing? Like obviously you can get a lot more advanced, but right off the bat, if someone was going to set this up, are there two to three main ones?
Yeah. Well, first, the other example I used, certainly coming in from different channels, you should know, for instance, one really cool personalized one is depending on what they searched when they found you in Google or another search tool, you can, using UTM campaigns, for instance, when they land on your site, we can segment them based on that. So then we can show them a promo where it makes the most sense based on that UTM campaign that they landed on your site. And we can even show them information specifically from UTM terms or the campaigns or a coupon that might have been presented in the promotion itself. It can translate into the JustUno promotion. Again, keeping that consistent flow. Another one for sure is is showing cart content. So, you can create promotions that are based on, does this person have a certain threshold of subtotal in their current cart? Let's show them, for instance, a shipping threshold banner that says, "Hey, you're just $32 away from reaching free shipping," and that's dynamic using JustUno and
That's awesome.
cart tracking. So that's a great use case as well. So there's lots of opportunities like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I imagine that the conversion rates go meaningfully up when you're personalizing it based on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So I think I've found e-commerce as an industry like super fascinating because I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, "Wow, e-commerce has grown so much, like it's already really big." Whereas I think right now we're like really still at the beginning of the upgraph, and there's so much room for e-commerce to grow. And there's so many businesses that are jumping in right now because it's gotten so massive, whether it's like a SaaS business or whether it's actually e-commerce brands. Whereas I think with JustUno, you've been around since 2010, so you've been around a lot longer than a lot of other companies in the space. So you obviously noticed that e-commerce was really interesting before the vast majority, of people in the world. I would love if you could walk us through, like, how did you get to that point? Like, what were you doing beforehand? Like, what led you to e-commerce? How did you decide that this was something that you should focus on before it was not nearly as large as it is today?
Sure. Well, I mean, personally, I got into the e-commerce space in the late '90s and doing
Wow.
doing freelance development work. Everything there was no such thing as e-commerce platforms back then. You didn't have Shopify or any BigCommerce, any of those guys. So everything was a homebrew. You hired a developer and they built it from scratch for the better part. Did that for a few years until I came on board as, I guess, a lead dev. I never had an official title, but a lead dev for a company called Sierra Snowboard. They were an online ski and snowboard shop. I was originally came on and built their online community to augment their online shopping. It was a different approach, very different approach then for e-commerce, and it translated into massive growth and sales for that company. That company became a disruptor for sure in the ski and snowboard online business. That company got acquired, and then the gentleman Eric Christensen, who is now my co-founder and CEO at JustUno, him and we started working on JustUno in 2010. At that time, it was really just applying what we learned from Sierra Snowboard as far as keeping people on your site. Don't give them a reason to leave. And the biggest reason, and it still is there today, but especially then, is that you get to your checkout page, your cart page, and you see that coupon field, and you immediately go, "Oh, there's coupons available for this site." And then what do? You open up another tab on your browser, you Google, xyz.com coupon codes, and then you potentially find a coupon code. It may or may not work, and best case scenario, it works, and you probably have to pay out an affiliate fee. Worst case scenario is it doesn't work, or they don't find a coupon code, and that translates into a terrible user experience, which then leads them to think, well, I'm going to wait this out. Maybe I can find a coupon code tomorrow, maybe next week, or maybe I'll just look at another site. Either way, you gave them a reason to leave your site, which is never good. So JustUno was born out of the idea of keeping them on your site with a simple slide-in promotion that would slide in from the side, and it would just give you a coupon code. The really interesting thing was back then in 2010, 2011, when we launched, was it was very much an uphill battle because we would explain what our software was about and why you should potentially give a discount code to somebody already on your site, and we got a lot of arguments on the flip side that why would I give a discount code to somebody who's already on my site? And so we had that going back and forth, and of course we evolved from there into incentivizing, basically making them potentially give you an email address in order to get that discount code, and then further into not even necessarily utilizing discount codes. But regardless, from between 2011 and 2014, 2015, there was a lot of competition that came in the space, and they actually did as a favor. They helped bring awareness to the need of a tool like this. And since then, it's a no-brainer to utilize a tool like JustUno on your site, whether you're just starting out or you're doing tens of millions of dollars in revenue a month or a year or whatnot. I mean, at every scale, every size, a product like this can help you generate leads. It can help convert your visitors into sales. It can help raise your your average ticket size, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I absolutely agree, because I think if someone's starting, like, I talk to a lot of people who have existing large businesses, but it's primarily through retail distributors, and they're maybe doing like millions of dollars a year, tens of millions of dollars a year, and now they're like, oh, I'm going to go on Shopify, I'm going to start e-commerce, I need to start owning the consumer brand. And it's surprising how many of them don't understand in the beginning, like, what the basics are. And for sure, like, one of those key basics, like day one of setting up a store, an online store, is like, you need to be making sure that when somebody comes to the site, you're not just pixeling them so that you can run ads against them later, but you're doing as good a job as possible to incentivize them to connect with you on some sort of communication channel, whether that's email, whether that's Facebook Messenger, whether that's SMS, because most people who come to your site are leaving. And if you don't have a way to reach out to them later, like, that's a huge, huge missed opportunity. And so I think, like, JustUno is like the sweet spot for that. And I didn't realize that in the beginning, JustUno wasn't focused on collecting email. It was mostly about kind of this coupon distribution. And also, I think it's interesting that you also, similarly to Shopify, which originally started with snowboarding, that you also started with snowboarding. So what is it about snowboarding that led to, like, these big e-commerce companies? There's something. If you're thinking of starting a SaaS company in the e-commerce space and you aren't starting with snowboarding, we made this mistake ourselves at Octane. You're probably setting yourself up for failure.
Hey, that is interesting.
So that's yeah, it's pretty interesting. Because I think with Shopify, it started the same way. Toby was like working on a snowboarding shop and was like, wow, like, it was so hard to, like, make all this stuff. We should make it easier for everybody to do the same thing. Similar stories. So that's awesome. And then how big is the JustUno team? Like, I mean, give us a sense of, like, how many businesses are you working with? Like, how big is this?
Yeah, I mean, it's been exciting the last few years. JustUno has grown substantially. We're in somewhere between 30 and 40 team members now, and we span across 3 different offices. We are in
Wow.
Our original headquarters is in San Francisco, and then we opened up our Austin office a few years ago here, and this is where I'm at. And recently, we opened up a Santa Monica office as well. So we're making our ways around and growing quickly. We are actively running on 20,000-ish websites right now.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's, again, the growth has been explosive over the last few years from many of the different channels.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that watching the trajectories of the growth of e-commerce, it's only going to go up. So the next thing I want to talk about, this is obviously what I talk about in all the rest of the e-commerce messenger masterclass, is real-time messaging for e-commerce, and today specifically Facebook Messenger marketing. So chatbots, bots, all that fun stuff. I'm curious, like, for those who are watching who aren't super familiar with Facebook Messenger marketing for e-commerce, like, how would you explain it from your perspective, and how does JustUno help grow store owners' messenger lists?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I love it, and I think it's quickly evolving into a must-have channel for all e-commerce businesses. I'm actually quite jealous that something like Facebook Messenger chatbots didn't exist back in the Sierra Snowboard days, because we saw a huge need for something like that. So much so that we actually painstakingly developed our own apps that you could install on your phone, that you could install on your computer, that allowed us to direct message people in real time for daily giveaways and for sales. And shipment notifications. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that it has a use case for, contests and so on. The problem with that app that we created was the adoption. I mean, you had to basically, it was only the people who were already sold on our brand who would take the time to download and install this app, and wasn't a one-click download and install then either. That's the beauty of the Facebook Messenger. It's one of the beauties, but it's an initial beauty of it, in my opinion, is that it's as easy, if not easier, than typing in your email address. So it's almost it's such a low commitment from a website visitor to subscribe to your Facebook Messenger
Yep.
chatbot that it makes the engagement and the subscription rates skyrocket in comparison. Especially with being able to check a box and subscribe to both an email address and a Facebook Messenger at the same time. You're getting two for the price of one, which is amazing as well. As you said, I mean, Facebook Messenger is quickly growing its adoption rate and everything. While email's going to be there for a long time. It's a force that keeps proving itself over and over again, but augmenting it at the very least with things like Facebook Messenger is a huge added bonus to being able to reach out, and especially in real time, which you cannot do with email, to your users.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's awesome that now stores can basically set up JustUno, and maybe previously where they were just collecting email, now when somebody lands on that site for the first time and they're getting, that trademarked personalized JustUno pop-ups based on wherever they're coming from, now they can opt people into both email and Facebook Messenger. And like you're saying, like Facebook Messenger, most people don't realize this, but it's growing faster than Facebook itself. It has over 1.3 billion people who are using it actively, and that's only growing, and it's growing very rapidly. And when you land on a site where it is using something like JustUno to collect that Facebook Messenger opt-in, if you're already logged into Facebook, it already knows who you are. So you don't have to like give it your credentials. You don't have to like type anything out. In a lot of cases, it's as simple as checking a box or clicking a button. And so the threshold to connecting is much lower. And I think that if you're not using something like that right now to grow, to convert your website visitors to connect with you on Facebook Messenger, then you're definitely missing out. Huge missed opportunity. If you're watching this and you are doing something with Facebook Messenger right now and you're not including that opt-in where you include email opt-ins, like you definitely need to go check out JustUno and figure out how to get set up with that. I mean, right now, like primarily businesses are using you to collect email, and so Facebook Messenger is obviously it's at the moment as we're recording this video, it's still like an up and coming channel. I think we can agree that it's going to get a lot bigger, and tons of businesses are having a lot of success with it. We're seeing that businesses are generating anywhere from 5 to over 10% of their revenue just from their Facebook Messenger campaigns. How do you think adoption for Facebook Messenger opt-ins is going to grow within your JustUno clients over the next couple of years?
Amongst a lot of the integrations that we've done, almost all the integrations, the request volume for a Facebook Messenger integration rapidly grew faster than any other one, I think, in our experience. So that was interesting. We came out with our Octane plugin that allows you to add that checkbox to an existing email form or a button, a CTA button. And we have, for instance, I mean, one of the largest, if not the largest Shopify store, which is a client of ours, immediately put the Facebook checkbox, augmented their email capture with a Facebook checkbox. And I want to say that it's like 80% of the people who opt into the email, which is the required field, also opt into the checkbox. And again, I think that it's attributed to the fact that it's just such a low commitment. It's actually a lower commitment, in my opinion, than subscribing to an email, because we all know that when you subscribe to an email, that unsubscribing it from it is not easy. At the same time, you don't know if subscribing to that one email means that email is going to be sold, hacked, whatever it is, and given, and all of a sudden, you're on 1,000 other spam databases that it's impossible to get unsubscribed from. Whereas I think people are more confident with the ability to say, hey, well, if I get a message from them and I'm over it, I can always unsubscribe really easily. So why not? So I think because of that and other means, it's growing so fast, and it's going to be a very prevalent force that out there for direct communication. Not that it actually isn't already. We're seeing people adopt it. Big clients, very big merchants adopting it, and they're the ones adopting it much faster. So yeah, I mean, this is a big growth tool for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point you made. That if I'm a business and I collect your email, there is a chance that that email could get used by someone else. Like, even like maybe I get hacked, or maybe I'm selling it. I'm not going to do anything like that. But there are businesses that will. Whereas it is unique to Facebook Messenger, where if you opt into getting messages from a very specific brand, the way the technology works is it's not transferable. You can't transfer a subscriber on Facebook Messenger to another brand. It only will ever work as that relationship between that brand and that consumer. I think like the other thing that really excites me, and this is what I talk a lot about, is like you said it earlier, email's not going anywhere. Like, maybe engagement's going down, but like it's still like a huge part of online businesses. It's not going to go anywhere. But what's cool about real-time messaging is that, unlike email, you can automate it to have this like back and forth where people can like ask follow-up questions. And I think the other thing that's really interesting is where you were talking about like this huge advantage you have with JustUno, where the pop-ups and these opt-ins are being personalized basically based on the customer journey. Like, did you come in through Google because you're looking for shoes, and so we're going to show you something that's catered to shoes versus like a dress or something. Similarly with real-time messaging, I think that's like really the secret sauce, where instead of just sending everybody the same message all the time, you're also personalizing everything to the customer journey. Like, is this someone that's purchased something in the past? Is this a new customer? Is this like one of your VIPs? Is this someone that like abandoned their cart? Is this someone that is looking for shoes and they're not looking for pants? So I think that's like a really exciting part of real-time messaging with Facebook. What do you see like where do you see this going in the future? Like, how do you see real-time messaging with Facebook Messenger, or even like outside of Facebook Messenger, like kind of that like automated concierge, micro messages, interactive, like AI? Where do you think this is going? How big a part in the e-commerce industry do you think it's going to play?
Yeah, I mean, specifically Facebook, the Facebook Messenger platform. Absolutely. I mean, you touched on some of those things. The AI capabilities are huge. You can answer people if you can answer people's questions immediately, whether they're sales questions, their order status questions, tracking information, things like that. You're making that customer happy, or creating a customer there, and which obviously turns into return customers. That right there is big time. So all the transactional messaging capabilities of it are huge. I also see the future of it moving potentially past Facebook. That just like the the different sales channels, the marketplace channels. I mean, so originally everybody thinks that Amazon was the first marketplace out there, and for good reason. They were the first one that did it right. But since then, there's a lot of other companies who are starting to tap away at that market, and I think the same thing is going to happen with chatbots. I think Facebook has brought it into the light, and I'm pretty sure other apps like WhatsApp has created their own chatbot. It's just a matter of time before somebody like Google's Android devices and Apple's iPhones integrate it directly into their messaging protocols. And in doing all that, using a company like Octane, who could hopefully, I'm assuming you guys will end up seamlessly blending all these chatbots into almost one virtual channel for a merchant and their subscribers. to messaging them back and forth. I think it's all very exciting. The other really cool thing too is like for people on Shopify is I know Shopify has Shopify Flow, I want to say they call it,
Yep.
and using Messenger as an integration tool with Shopify Flow. I mean, you could send them all those AI, those real time notifications. Again, makes things like order status updates, like your order is processing, your order is shipped,
Yep.
your order has been delivered. All these things just remove all these tedious tagged tasks that merchants have become accustomed to, and at the same time removes follow up from the customers themselves, which it's all a good thing. It makes for the whole buying experience to be much more improved and all that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I think we definitely agree at Octane AI that the future is going to be like it's not just Facebook Messenger. There's a lot of places you can chat, and the way you kind of think about it is like if I have a relationship with you, maybe I'm going to email you, maybe I'm going to text you, maybe I'm going to message you on Facebook, maybe I'm going to call you, maybe you use a different app, and like the way I interact with you versus the way I would interact with somebody else oftentimes is going to be a lot different because it's based off of like the matching up of both of our preferences. And so if a brand can replicate that same type of like fluidity with the relationship one-to-one management, that's like our goal. And right now it's like focus on Facebook Messenger, just like crush it with that, make it really great. There's a lot of things to figure out, but exactly what you're saying, I think long term, if we can have this like centralized brain that can keep track of that one customer no matter where they're talking to the brand, and it can have a kind of all the context no matter where it's talking to you, that's like the dream goal for sure. And I think again with the AI you were talking about, what we've seen, and we like, we work with a lot of big clients, and we look through as part of our research, we look through their inboxes to see their customer support messages, and like we've seen a ton of brands where they'll have tens of thousands of messages that have gone unanswered in like the past year. Maybe they've only answered like one or two of them, and like more than like the vast majority of them are people just saying like, "Where's my order?" Or like my order is, or like how long is it going to take to get to this country, or like do you know my tracking? And so the idea that like one, if you're not answering that right now, like that customers, they're still going to get their order, but like they're a little annoyed that nobody's getting back to them. And two, like AI is not, contrary to popular belief, AI is not good at everything, but it is very good at very specific things. So like answering questions like where's my order, we've seen that have like a massive effect where you can instantly do it. So we're nearing the end of our show. I think before we kind of close out here, do you have any like big tips or closing comments that you want to leave our masterclass members with?
Well, I mean, certainly I'll throw in my plug. You got to check out JustUno.com and Octane. I'd say probably my biggest tip for merchants is start with an e-commerce platform that can grow with you and that can take the development out of your business. And I'm talking about a platform that has successful apps that you can easily install. Moving on from there, focus on if you're starting out, you're a new e-commerce company, start out with just a few apps that are obvious wins that everybody tells you should have. Then focus on getting traffic to your site. Don't worry about eking out that last bit of conversion optimization that you hear all the time, because you don't have enough traffic. And until you have that traffic, you don't have enough data to make any decisions on success. Beyond that, I'd say make sure you have a vision. Every successful company, e-commerce or not, they have a vision that led their company. That's something I've personally learned over the years in different companies that I've started. That is what certainly has made JustUno very successful. And then lastly, have fun and make sure that you don't lose focus, and you guys celebrate the small wins, not just the big wins. At JustUno, we call them our quick wins. We have our stand-ups all the time, and part of our stand-ups, it's what's our quick wins. And when we talk to integration partners, it's what's our quick wins. So it's those micro goals, and reaching them and celebrating the fact that we reach them is, I think, makes for your daily experience in any company much more fun and exciting.
Cool. Travis, thank you so much for being on the show today. You've been in the industry for so long, much longer than I have. And so it's definitely an honor to be able to talk to you and just have this ability to kind of share your thoughts and your ideas and your vision with our community and with our members. So that's it for this e-commerce messenger class AMA. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Travis from JustUno. If you're not already collecting Facebook Messenger opt-ins, definitely check out JustUno. Go to justuno.com. I definitely encourage you to do it. And finally, I'd like to thank you, the Messenger e-commerce Messenger Masterclass members. I hope that this added value. That's the whole goal of this, so that we can have these conversations. We can share what we're seeing from working with all these different businesses, and hopefully that has a positive impact on your business. And we're really just trying to help you understand that real-time messaging as a new channel is something that's growing really quickly. Facebook Messenger is growing really quickly, and we're doing everything we can to educate you on that and help you leverage it and make it successful for your business. So enjoy the rest of your day and keep working hard to grow your e-commerce business. Thanks, everybody.